we've been vocal about what's happening in Sudan and Congo, but not as much because Palestine is dominated. I've kind of had the stance that being black, we should speak more on Congo and Sudan than Palestine. But then the other argument is that, well, whatever happens in Palestine will happen around the world, so we should be speaking about that and amplifying that. Not more so, but it shouldn't.
It's like there's more
shouldn't be
news
there's
that
more
we can
news and
share.
noise. Yeah. So I'm fighting with that within myself. Like, we should actually be amplifying the stories that aren't getting the visibility, because that's a problem. What do you think?
I think everybody should go suck themselves when they have some opinion about they're going to tell me about what I should speak about, and they should no, because they've been dehumanizing Africans for too long. Why is it? If this thing that was going on in Palestine was going on in Congo, we wouldn't be talking about it.
I know, and that's
So where I'm like,
But do you really think that? So you're in the same way, like the oppressive forces. You can clearly see that it's backed by the UK, America. Like, you can see the clear lines. You think that just because it would be in Africa,
100%.
it would be
not even 100%, 1,000%.
Yeah,
And the reason being is because the clear lines still exist in Congo.
Right.
The clear lines still exist in Sudan. They just try and put it to tribalism, and they try and basically do the whole anti-African thing that they always do, where they try and say, oh, it's just some civil war, it's some tribal war. They don't know what they're doing. Take the gold, right?
Yeah.
But the reality is that what is going on in Sudan is backed by the UAE, which is backed by the USA and the UK. What is going on in Congo is backed by the USA, is backed by France, is backed by the UK.
I think
Same
it's
people.
the face of the people, as in you have the IDF, you know the faces of the oppression. But
what's the
if
difference?
it's a black person, I just think that could be
But I'm
a
saying, what's the
symptom of
difference?
it.
Look, I would say that the African's biggest problem, because inside of that whole context, right? And one of my best friends is Kareem, low-key. He's a big anti-Zionist campaigner against what's been going on. He wisened me up to a lot of the stuff that's been going on there, right? And I'm pro the right for the Palestinians to exist, and I am pro the love of the Palestinian people and their resistance against oppression and occupation. I'm pro that. I want them to do what they're doing, and I want them to survive this genocide that's going on. But, and it's a big but, there is racism in Palestine right now. There are African communities in Palestine that are and have been historically oppressed by Arabs, right? So, and in the rest of the UAE, let's not forget that the rest of the UAE and the rest of the Arab countries are pro-Palestinian, but when it comes to them worrying about whether they're getting the oil money from the USA, all of a sudden they're very quiet about what's going on. But all of these countries, all of these Arabic countries are anti-black.
Yes.
Whether it's Egypt, whether it's Tunisia, whether it's Morocco. I've been profiled the most in Egypt, in Morocco. If I go to Doha, in Qatar, wherever I go, it's anti-black, right? So there's anti-blackness going on in Palestine right now from Arabs. What is going on in Congo and what is going on in Sudan is hundreds of times worse than what is going on there. Literally, in terms of the amount of loss of life, right? So 300 times the amount of lives have been lost in Congo than have been lost in Gaza.
300 times.
300 times. In Congo, Google it. You got your laptop there, Google.
Yeah.
In Congo, right, there are right now 9 million people displaced. In Sudan, right now, there are 14 million people displaced. In Congo, right now, there are 40 million people starving, right? So where you've had since October 7th, and then historically, how many hundreds of thousands of Palestinians that have been killed? I don't know what the number is. It's 200,000, 300,000.
They're saying it's probably about 600
600,000.
around there. Yeah.
Right, but and then historically, however many millions have been killed across the course of the last 100 years since 1948.
Yeah.
Right, Congo, from 1998 until 2006, 6 million people died. So 10 times the amount
Literally
more
just seeing
people
that.
died 30 years ago there than have died in this last genocide period that everybody's speaking about, right? Because Congolese have Bantu features, because Congolese have spread nose, because Congolese have dark skin, because Congolese have 4C hair, we're not speaking about it. And the same with the Sudanese. And so because of that, I'm like, everybody can go suck themselves, because we as a people, whether it's in Africa itself, I've been in Ghana and I've seen no protests about, I mean, there's one that happened last year or earlier this year, but I've basically seen no protests about what's happening in Congo. In South Africa, I've seen no protests about what's happening in Congo. In Kenya, I've seen no protests about what's happening in Congo, but they're protesting Palestine. In Africa. Are you mad?
Oh my God, that's what.
Are you actually crazy? And that's how anti-black we are, that we can't even see our own humanity within our own humanity. So, yes, we should champion the right for Palestine to exist, and we should champion the rights of the Palestinian people. But where we have a genocide that's going on that is 10, 20, 30 times worse, why is it that we're spending so much time on the one that's trending? Rather than the one where we are actually, like, these people look just like us, you know, that are dying in Congo. Like, there's kids there that look just like me, just like you, who are facing the worst extermination of humans. Since the biggest loss of life since the Second World War has happened in Congo and now in Sudan, right? The biggest loss of life since the Second World is not taught in schools, nobody's speaking about it, but the biggest loss of life since the Cold War, actually, the biggest loss of life since the Cold War is happening right now in 2025. The airport in Goma has been closed since January, right? And I've literally been there while rocket fire. I've seen trucks full of bodies. I've seen beheaded people. I've seen mad stuff that I can't post on my Instagram. Because now, every single day, this is the weird thing that's dehumanizing us, right? We can scroll and see a beheaded child in Gaza that's just been blown up. And then see a TikTok video of a guy dancing in comedy. And then see a woman in a bikini, right? You cannot see the deaths that are going in Congo. That's how racist things are, because they censor it. They won't even allow us to show the deaths of people in Congo. Like, rape has been used as a weapon of war in Congo. The most women in the world have been raped in Congo, right? And that's been going on now for 30 something years, and you're not allowed to talk about it.